Social timelines have been filled with talks of a DOGE dividend, or DOGE refund check, making its way to the citizens of the United States ever since Elon began announcing extensive savings from their widespread governmental cuts. Where did these talks of refunds begin? Who do they involve? And what are the chances of a big check coming to a bank account near you? Let's dive into these questions and more in this episode of From Tweet to Trend. DOGE dividends, political gamble or viable stimulus? As with most things, it's important to start from the beginning. The idea of DOGE refunds, or DOGE checks, stems from a proposal related to the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, an advisory group established by President Donald Trump in 2025, led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy at the time. The concept, often called the DOGE dividend, involves returning a portion of purported federal savings achieved by DOGE to American taxpayers as a refund or stimulus-like payment. The idea was first publicly floated by James Fishback, CEO of Azoria Partners, on the social media platform X in February 2025. Fishback suggested that 20% of DOGE's savings should be returned to taxpayers as a refund check, framing it as a way to return money to those who paid taxes in the first place. Fishback's initial proposal estimated a $5,000 check per tax-paying household based on DOGE achieving $2 trillion in total savings by its scheduled end in July 2026. The calculation assumed 20% of $2 trillion divided among roughly 78 to 79 million households that pay federal income taxes. Proponents, including Fishback and a slew of others online, argue the dividend would incentivize taxpayers to report government waste, fraud, and abuse, thereby increasing public engagement in DOGE's mission. It's also pitched as a way to restore trust in government by directly returning savings to citizens. The proposal specifies that only households that are net payers of federal income tax, those who pay more in taxes than they receive in refunds or credits, would qualify. This excludes approximately 40% of Americans who don't pay federal income taxes due to low income, deductions, or credits. Undocumented immigrants would also be ineligible, as Fishback emphasized that payments would go only to legal taxpayers. Musk acknowledged Fishback's proposal on X, stating he would check with the president. He later expressed support for the idea's incentives, suggesting it could encourage citizens to report wasteful spending, but he hasn't confirmed its implementation. In a February 2025 speech in Miami, Trump expressed enthusiasm, saying his administration was considering allocating 20% of DOGE's savings to taxpayers and another 20% to reducing national debt. He described the potential savings as incredible, but provided no firm commitment or timeline. Fishback has claimed to be in discussions with lawmakers in the House and Senate to draft legislation for the dividend. He told media outlets like NewsNation in March 2025 that a bill was forthcoming, but no legislation has been introduced as of April 10, 2025. House Speaker Mike Johnson commented in February 2025 that while the idea would be great politically, fiscal priorities like reducing the $36 trillion national debt should come first. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller indicated in early 2025 that the dividend would be considered through the congressional reconciliation process, but no official policy has been adopted. DOGE's website, doge.gov, has reported varying figures for savings, ranging from $55 billion in February 2025 to $105 billion by March 2025. These savings are attributed to contract cancellations, fraud detection, workforce reductions, and other cuts. However, analyses by outlets like NPR, Reuters, and the New York Times have found significant errors in DOGE's data, such as inflated savings claims, e.g. an $8 billion contract cancellation later corrected to $8 million. Contracts listed as canceled that were already terminated or never existed, double counting or mislinked contract data, reducing verified savings to a fraction of claims, e.g. NPR verified only $2.3 billion of $9.6 billion claimed in one update. Musk has admitted that the $2 trillion savings goal is a best-case outcome, with a more realistic target possibly half that amount. Economists and budget experts, like Elaine Kamarck of the Brookings Institution and Maya Maguinias of the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, argue that DOGE's savings are unlikely to be substantial enough to fund $5,000 checks without borrowing, given the U.S.'s $2 trillion annual deficits. Any dividend would require congressional approval, as DOGE is an advisory body, not a government agency with authority to distribute funds. No timeline for such legislation exists, and skepticism from lawmakers about fiscal responsibility adds uncertainty. Numerous media outlets have run varying reports on the DOGE dividends since the initial tweets went viral. Additional information and resources can be found within the video's description. We hope you enjoyed the first episode of From Tweet to Trend. If you have feedback or suggestions for future topics, please let us know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share us with your friends if you found this information useful. Be sure to check out TweetBeat for breaking, trending content directly from Twitter every day.